What if I said to you, you could extend your life? Would you take it? Well, continue watching this video and I'll go through 9 core attitudinal foundations which I feel are quite liberating and bring a depth and quality to our life which really extends the quality of our life. Your attitude determines your altitude. Now I know this sounds cliche, but it's carrying something in that expression which hints to us that there is an enhancing element that comes in our life when we bring a certain attitude or when we bring certain attitudes. Today I'm going to talk about 9 secular mindfulness attitudes. They don't really belong to anyone. They're just commonly used in secular mindfulness, and I want to talk about that. Each one, how they've helped me, but also perhaps you might be able to employ some of them in your life, embed them, cultivate them, and enrich in your life to enhance your life's quality. So let's start with beginner's mind. Beginner's mind, this attitudinal foundation, which essentially is saying, can you look at everything with a new pair of eyes? As I walk through the forest here, is everything I know true? Everything I believe about the way trees grow, is everything that I hold in mind about the formation of rocks and the cycle of leaves falling from the trees, is everything that I currently believe true? So to bring an attitude of curiosity with this beginner's mindset, to look at the world as a newborn baby would be exploring the world for the first time, it allows me to open up into new possibilities. This extends well beyond walking through the forest, of course. This extends to our relationships. This extends to the way we see ourselves. Have I seen that before? Have I seen it from this perspective before? So beginner's mind is the first one, to me, that anchors us in the possibility of newness, possibility of fresh discovery. The second one I want to talk about is patience. Patience is not simply just being able to wait. Patience is being okay with waiting. What do you feel inside when you're waiting? Now, I've felt a lot of impatience across my entire life. I've always wanted things to happen now. I've always wanted things to happen in my own time. Why isn't my business going that way? I mean, look, let's not even just start a business. Let's go back to childhood. Let's go back to the conditioning that comes as we're born into the world. And if we're fortunate enough to be born into the Western world, and we have so much at our fingertips, we get used to what I like to call the one-click delivery, instant. We get trained into nowness. We get trained into getting things right when we want them. And so then I think it weakens our resolve, because what fundamentally happens then is when we don't get things in our own time, when we want them on demand, then there is a feeling inside that builds up. So despite the fact that we still have to wait on the delivery of that item on the traffic light to turn green, for our partner to apologize, whatever it is we are waiting for, there's a feeling inside that comes. and it says, hurry up, why can't I get results? And there's a tightening, a constriction. Well, that happens for me anyway. And what I learned was that patience is something we can continuously cultivate in everyday situations. When that thing isn't going right for you, just happening when you want it, how you want it. I'm in the forest all by myself, and I haven't seen a person now since I got here, which was an hour ago. So just making sure that I wasn't being pounced on by a wild animal. So patience then is something we can continuously cultivate, something which creates space in us while waiting. The other thing I want to talk about is trust. Trust in the universe. Trust in the law of nature. Trust that there is a bigger plan, there is a wider order of things taking place that really is much bigger than just me, that is not constrained by my own personal worldview, and that are actually outside of my control. So consider that your heart is beating right now. Mine is beating in my chest. My breaths are coming rhythmically and naturally. I'm not consciously controlling that. But there's a natural trust already there in me that my next breath will come. There's a natural trust that I'll be able to get home when I leave this forest, and whichever route that I take and whatever way that unfolds, it will be what it is. So there's an element of trusting the natural flow of things. The next thing I want to talk about is non-judgment. I find this particularly powerful as someone who works a lot in communication. Non-judgment is that ability to see things as they are without placing a value judgment on it. This can apply to people, this can apply to yourself. And I can tell you about when I am writing my stories, or when I'm helping people to work through their stories. One of the common obstacles is that inside critic, that judging voice that tells you you're not good enough, or what crap is that you've written? And we have this sort of internal criticism that never stops, judging ourselves incessantly. Well, it doesn't just stop at ourselves, of course. We project that judgment out onto others. And I've done that so much in my past relationships that it caused a lot of damage, actually. Caused a lot of damage to the relationship itself. And I didn't realize it until I don't want to say until it's too late, because it's never too late. But the relationships have had to be, I guess, repaired. So there is an element of being able to relinquish the labels as best as we can, as it pertains to people, as it pertains to ourselves. And judgment will arise, of course, because we're only human. But what we want to do is be able to allow the judgment to come, notice the judgment, and let it go. That's really quite a helpful attitude. The next one I want to talk about is non-striving. Non-striving. I'm in the forest and I'm just walking. And I'm not walking anywhere. I'm not walking anywhere. I don't actually even know where I am at this point. So I'm practicing this morning. It's my birthday today, by the way. And I'm feeling really good to be in nature. And as I'm walking, I'm practicing just walking for walking's sake. There is no goal in my walking. I'm not trying to get anywhere right now. And what that quality, that attitude strengthens in us is the ability to just do stuff without having a goal in mind. This is not to say that goals aren't helpful, of course, because they are. But what we're doing here is we're able to relinquish ourselves into the flow of the activity without thinking about the end. The next one I want to talk about is gratitude. Gratitude. Gratitude is a beautiful, powerful attitude that we can bring to our relationships, to ourselves, as a practice to think about what we're grateful for. What am I grateful for today? Today I'm grateful to be able to get into the forest. I'm grateful for the abundance of lovely greenery, beautiful weather. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for a loving family around me who care about my well-being. I'm grateful that I've got money in the bank and I can afford my next meal. I am grateful for the ability to be able to communicate this over to you. Gratitude is such a powerful thing. And also being able to say thank you to someone for what they've done for you, for being present for you, for giving you a cup of tea. It strengthens and opens up a channel in us of, I suppose, a positive flow of energy, which rewards you for the rest of your day. It's like a waterfall that you carry with you wherever you go. And when, can I just say that when we're dealing with gratitude, when we're practicing gratitude, we're doing it for its own sake. We're not saying thank you to someone so that they can say you're welcome. If they don't say you're welcome, that's also fine. The other thing I want to talk about is acceptance. The attitude of acceptance is a very, very powerful, freeing attitude that helps us to level up to new dimensions of reality in our own lives. Because in accepting, what we're actually doing is we're not resisting the moment. We're not resisting our current situation. We're not resisting what is happening for us right now. So whatever is happening for you, whatever difficulty you might be facing, whatever person you're sitting on the train, there's someone next to you who you think, I don't want to be sat next to that person. Whatever, there is something present for you in your life, as there was in mine, and we face these all the time. And I've had abundant opportunities to accept my present reality, but I didn't. And I found myself tied into knots of resistance, which built so much tension in my body. But also what it did is it caused me to waste energy resisting in the first place. You know, it's like having a board up in the wind, and the wind is blowing and you're pushing this big sheet of, you know, ply or something, you know, or standing in the stream at 90 degrees to the stream, and you feel this pushing against you. Without resisting then, and we accept the current flow at the given time, we expend much less energy on a useless task of fighting, and we accept the current reality. The other thing I want to talk about is generosity. A really powerful way to just be able to actually give. There's nothing more rewarding than giving. Giving of your time, giving of yourself, giving things. Generosity is one of those things that we feel so free and so happy to be able to give after having given. And this is especially when we give without expectation. I'm not giving that cup of tea to that homeless person because I want the cheeky little payoff that says, look what a good deed I did today. I'm giving out of the warmth and kindness of my heart because I felt that that person needed that at that time. And finally, I want to talk about letting go. Letting go, one of the more powerful, the most, if not most powerful. And actually, I need to be careful here, because actually all of these attitudes can be used as a doorway or an access point to another one. So really, I don't want to say the most powerful, but for me in my life, I found letting go to be so liberating, because it allows us to take whatever it is we've got in our grip and just say, I've had enough of holding on to this. I've had enough of holding on to this idea that I should be this person or should be this particular way. I've had enough of holding on to the bitterness of my breakdown in my marriage, or I've had enough of the anger towards my ex-boss. I've had enough of holding on to whatever it is I'm holding on to. And by the way, holding on isn't just to the things we probably have negative or destructive feelings around. We can hold on to great things as well. And when we latch on to anything at all, then we become somewhat weighted. It is like tying yourself to a stone and trying to run at the same time. You know, we have a weight around us which constrains our movement, which constricts us, doesn't allow us to flow freely. So letting go is one of the most powerful ones, the most powerful attitudes that I've personally applied to my life, and has allowed me to access more inner states of freedom probably than I've ever done in my life. I think I'm going to do a whole separate talk around forgiveness, because I think nested in letting go is this thing called forgiveness, where we can forgive ourselves and others for perceived transgressions against us, and realize the freedom, the doorway, the spaciousness that it opens inside. And in no particular order, you can take any one of those attitudes. I think I may have actually mentioned them in different orders throughout this talk, but that doesn't actually matter. I think the key point here is to be able to take any one of those attitudes that resonates with you and run with it. And I promise you'll start to see changes in your life as you apply them wholeheartedly, not just in depth and quality, but really getting into the art of living. Hope you found that helpful, and look out for my next talk on forgiveness. We'll talk a lot more about forgiveness of self and others. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like if you found it useful, subscribe, share, and if there's anything you want me to talk about in a future video, leave it in the comments below. See you next time. Bye for now.